Hey you guys, what's up? What's up? James here once again here at Unique Perspectives. I do want to encourage you to like and subscribe. I would love your support. I'm gonna get just right into this topic, you guys. I mean, you obviously seen, the title. I just want to give you some backstory because I do want to talk about basically how do you tell your girlfriend or your significant other about your foot fetish. And, the idea of me actually coming up with this really was inspired by a question I received just recently. And when I say recently, I mean literally like last night or early in the morning, and I was kind of restless with my sleep. I was actually getting hungry at a very awkward time. I usually sleep pretty good like a baby. And yeah, I usually sleep typically very well. Recently, I was having some issues with, I don't know, I was hungry at a very awkward time, like 2 a.m., fixed myself something to eat, something really light. But when I came back to my my room, I started scrolling through comments, and a gentleman actually reached out to me on my YouTube, and he actually asked me a question that really caught me off guard, because all this time since I've been doing the whole foot thing, and just really addressing the different aspects of the foot fetish for a lot of us guys, not once did I think about making this video. And that he asked me a very direct question, and I was giving him advice and suggestions, but I thought to myself, I'm gonna make a video about this as well. And that's basically just talking about the foot fetish and actually sharing it with your significant other, or, like a girlfriend. Let's say a lot of us are dating, and a lot of us we're foot guys, and we're with a lady, we like her a lot. Of course, we know that there are different personalities out there. There's some guys that they're foot guys and they're more transparent, I'm gonna say. They kind of like push the foot fetish or the desires that they have or interest on their lady, They can be watching movies and the guy's grabbing her feet and just enjoying them, and she just kind of goes along with it. But there are a lot of us that don't have that personality, so I kind of want to communicate more specifically with that group. I think I resonate with that group as well. We want to be careful, we want to be cautious with how we approach this whole thing, because we know there's a negative stigma when it comes to the whole foot concept and things like that. Guys like us that admire ladies with nice feet, and we all have different preferences and all that. But I want to run through some ideas for you guys, because I realize that this is a very important topic. I know a lot of people don't understand us. They think we're strange. They think we're weird. A lot of the weird stories and articles that they hear in guys harassing ladies for their feet or touching their feet at the park or whatever. A lot of people, they don't know how to differentiate between those extreme guys that are just pushing their desires on people and forcing them on people, and the rest of us that are not like that. A lot of us are not like that. We just want to have our own partner. We can enjoy our partner in any way, intimate ways and things like that. So I just want to talk about that. And before I get into my scenarios, I just have some ideas that I just want to run past you guys. And I thought about making this 2 videos, but I may as well just be more thorough. And I just want to make 1 video just to knock all of this stuff out. So please bear with me. I know a lot of you are going to stick around anyway, because this is, of course, a very important topic to all of us, including myself. So just bear with me, but I want to just address a few things. And I want to be informative with this video, because, it's important to me too. So I want to be careful, and so please guys, just bear with me, okay? One of the things I do want to say before I get into my different points and also my scenarios with how to share, that you have a thing for feet or a foot fetish with your partner, is why I even started addressing the whole foot thing on YouTube. And to be honest with you, I hesitated not to even address this kind of stuff. I'm a Christian man. I am very respected within my family and many circles. This is not something that typically a Christian man should be even addressing. And in fact, if my YouTube actually starts to grow, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to start challenging me on it from the Christian world. However, I feel like it's a topic that's not being addressed properly. There's a lot of people that talk about it on YouTube and other platforms, but they talk about it in a very strange way or weird way, or a way that they're making fun of the whole foot fetish concept, or they're not being very cautious and careful with the reputation that we all have, or even the fact that a lot of us have different personalities. Some of us are not weird and strange and trying to harass people with their feet. Some of us, we're not those type of people, So I really like I said, I'm trying to really communicate with that crowd more specifically. Now, I will say that I had a very interesting situation that happened nearly 20 years ago when I was, just really transitioning, I'm going to say, into adulthood. I remember doing a lot of research regarding the whole foot fetish concept, because I was trying to figure out, was there something wrong with me? And I think I addressed a lot of this in my very first video. That's probably very early this year in 2022. I addressed the fact that when I was younger and I was around 19, I had my first laptop and access to to the internet, I was all over the place. And one of the first things that I started doing was looking up a lot of stories about guys that liked feet. And I was trying to figure out, where did it come from? You know, was it something that we inherit, or is it something that some type of situation happens and we just kind of, it kicks in and we're just like, you know, something just happens to us. And there's a lot of us that have those stories where it was their aunt, an aunt that, you know, maybe we were 5 and we were under the table playing with our trucks, and there was an aunt that bumped us, you know, and then, I don't know, there was something that happened to our brain where we started noticing feet from there on, you know. There's some guys that it happened to them a little later. Maybe they were hanging out with friends at a sleepover, and there was a lady or a girl that they liked, you know, her feet was kind of close to them, and maybe they smelled the fragrance of her feet and it smelled really nice, and they were just like, wow, this is something that I like, you know. And sometimes ladies, you know, put lotions on and oils, and that really ignites something in some of us. And some of us, it's just a natural fragrance, you know. She was running around outside, and you know, we just naturally love that natural scent. So it's just something that I think only guys that like feet really understand. A lot of the people outside of our community, they don't get it. But more specifically, I remember when I was doing this research, you guys, and please bear with me. I know I'm a little long-winded, but I want to be thorough with all of this. I want to be careful, and I want to be just very careful with sharing everything, the foundation of everything that I'm trying to get to here. I remember finding out that, you know, there was a gentleman online, and he wrote this story that he was married for 3 whole years to his best friend, his wife. And the only time he felt comfortable touching her feet was when she was asleep. Then he would just kind of massage her feet or kiss her feet or smell them or whatever. And I just thought to myself how sad it was that this man, he felt like he couldn't even tell his wife. This is like the woman that's supposed to know everything about him, and she's supposed to know that side of him. And I just felt how hard it must be for somebody like that they felt like they couldn't even be open and honest with their best friend about a very important part of their life. And I even thought about like the sexual intimacy aspect of the relationship as well. I'm thinking it must be very difficult for a man to be intimate with his wife and he's not touching her feet because he doesn't want her to be turned off. And you know, so I really, if anything, I really push for us to be more transparent. So I'm going to run down some points that I want to just kind of encourage you guys, men like myself that admire ladies with, you know, nice feet or feet that you like. And I want to just run past some of these points, and then I want to really end this with some maybe 3 scenarios that you could use to introduce the idea of, you know, you have a thing for feet or a foot fetish with your partner. So hopefully this will be helpful. I want to try to be thorough with this video. Like I said, it's a sensitive topic to me too, you know, and I know a lot of you've reached out to me, so you know where I am. I'm coming from when it comes to this. Only we understand how important this kind of thing is for us. One point I do want to emphasize, if anything, this is point number 1, is that your thing for feet, wherever it is on the spectrum, because you have some people that it's stronger, very strong, and you have some people where it's not that strong. You know, you just admire feet, it's very nice. For some of us, feet are very arousing. Others, it's a certain type of feet. There are a lot of us that have different preferences. I talk about this all the time with some people that I know. Sometimes people say, oh, James, you have a thing for feet. And I say, oh, whoa, hold on. Not everybody's feet is my type. You know, there's specific complexions, there's specific sizes, there's specific looks. All those things are variables that dictate if I'm going to even be appealed by somebody's feet. You can't just grab a random woman and say, hey, here's a pair of feet, do you like them? And I say yes. That's not how it works. It's the same thing with any attraction that men have towards women, is we don't just go for any woman. Some of us, we have certain age cutoffs that we're not interested in a lady. Some of us, we're not interested in ladies that are really light skin or dark skin, or, you know, ladies that have bigger feet or smaller feet. We all have different preferences. And so if anything, my point is, be aware that this is just a part of you. Just like you have specific things that you like to eat, or places that you like to visit, or you have preferences, you have things that you like, you know, just keep in mind that this is a part of you. So don't try to, I don't want to say hide it, but don't try to suppress it. This is a part of you, and it doesn't have to be a big deal. And I emphasize this with a lot of my videos, but don't make this become like some type of curse. This is a part of who it is that you are. You know, it's something to be embraced. And the idea is to find a partner that's going to enjoy that part of you as well. And if we do what's right and we locate someone that is the right connected partner for us, they're going to want to please us. They're going to want to please us, okay? And I really want to emphasize that. It's the same thing with, I don't know. For example, let's just say you know, connect with a woman and you're married now, and she said, hey, I get really excited sexually by, you know, smelling underarms. Okay? Now, some of us, we may not think that's really all that interesting. But for her, let's say it really turns her on. Well, if this is my wife, if this is my significant other, if this is somebody that I love and value, and this is my friend, my best friend, well, if that gets her going, well, then sniff away, you know? And so just like we would want to accommodate our partner, keep in mind that there are ladies that will accommodate you as well, which leads me into my next point. If anything, I would have to say that with my next point, I want to just, this is point number 2. Don't underestimate women. Do not underestimate women. There are a lot of women that are very mature, that they are very intelligent, even if they're fairly young, but they will work with you. It doesn't take a sophisticated mind to recognize that they like you, you like feet or their feet, and so they are going to somehow implement that into the relationship. So don't assume that every woman is going to reject you just because feet is your thing. There are a lot of ladies that if you like, pulling hair while you're being intimate, they're okay with that. If you like to implement food in your sexual, interest or escapades or whatever, they're okay with that. And whatever you guys decide to do as a married couple, you have fun and you do that. But it's between you and your partner. It's between you and your partner. And so I just want to emphasize, don't assume that every woman is going to look at you like some foot weirdo and they're going to think that you're strange and think that you're somebody that they don't want to be with just because you like feet. There are plenty of ladies that are aware that guys have different preferences. And so just don't assume the worst, I really want to emphasize that because I'm not going to say I've experienced a lot of ladies' feet. I've had my share of interactions, but I want to really emphasize that there are a lot of ladies that I've communicated with and they don't see an issue with it. They don't have a problem with it. As long as they love you, as long as they're interested in you, they don't care about that, and not in a negative way, but they're willing to accommodate you. And so keep that in mind that if you're with your best friend, don't make it a big issue, You want to, especially if you're already in a relationship with someone, they deserve to know different aspects of who it is that you are. It makes the relationship a lot easier. And I know that I try not to push my Christian faith so much, but I also want to be transparent that that's what my foundation is for everything that I share. So I do want to encourage every man listening to this, find your wife and find someone that matches the interests and the desires that you have, So if this is somebody that you can build a life with, you can potentially have children with, that you can have a home with, please find a lady, I always say this. The Bible says in Proverbs 18:22, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Even God wants us to enjoy a relationship. He said it's not good for man to be alone. That's Genesis 2:18. And he said, I'm going to make him a helper suitable for him. So God does not want us to be alone. All those interests that you have, there's a reason why you have those desires. And it's because, you need to have a partner. And so just like a lady's going to have her own interests, you have your own interests as well. But I really want to emphasize, do not underestimate women. There are a lot of ladies that have no issue at all appeasing you and accommodating whatever foot interest you have. They have no problem with that. It's not a problem at all. And I think sometimes there's a lot of us that overthink this, and I did that once upon a time as well. When I used to care about a lot of people's opinion, I used to actually overthink and say, I better not tell this person this because what if they reject? But now I've just learned that there's a lot of ladies that they're very mature for their age. When it comes to these things, it's not going to be an issue. So please do not write off a woman or overthink a lot of these scenarios. You'll find that a lot of women really are very easygoing when it comes to this, especially if they like you. I have 2 more points. The number 3 is, I guess this goes without saying, but one of the best signs that you can recognize if a woman is really even meant for you is if she is willing to accommodate that side of you, that interest that you have when it comes to feet. And even if it's something as simple as watching movies with her regularly and she's willing to let you massage her feet because that's something you want to do for her, that's a good sign. That's a green flag that, hey, this woman is willing to accommodate you. I do remember having my very first girlfriend, and I was really very, very attracted to her. A lovely El Salvadorian lady, very nice. I was in my mid-20s, she was in her mid-20s, gorgeous lady, beautiful. But I remember that when she learned that I liked feet, she used that against me, almost as leverage to really make things difficult for me, and it was very difficult. Maybe I'll make a video about that, but it was not very accommodating, I will say that. And so I don't want any of you to ever go through anything like that at all. I really want to emphasize that if a woman is meant for you, she's going to be okay with accommodating that side of who it is that you are, that personality side. And if a woman is not willing to do that, you have your answer, whether you should be building a life with her. Life is really short, you guys. Life is really short. I'm already 40, and I feel like time is just flying. I'm not angry that I'm 40. I feel very well preserved. I'm see my skin here. But I want to just emphasize that it's essential to recognize your value and the things that you are interested in. You know, you deserve to have a partner that is willing to mutually accommodate you just as much as you're willing to accommodate them. I mean, think about that. And that's really the essence of what a marriage should be, is you have a man coming in a relationship and he is not coming in trying to take, but he's there to give. He's there to give. He's coming in the relationship with his hand open to give. And then you have a lady that's also coming into the relationship and she's willing to give. And so that's the best way that you can have both your interest, I'm going to say accommodated or met, your desires met, is both people are serving one another. And that also includes whether it's the feed or whatever else, you know. So I really want to emphasize this to you, because I know there are some guys that may be in a relationship and you're like, man, I really like this lady, but if I tell her about the foot thing, what if she bails? You know, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like, you know, it's worth investing in a relationship with somebody that understands where you're coming from and willing to accommodate. For me personally, I will not be with any woman if I can't, you know, touch her feet or have access to her feet. I do, of course, need a woman that loves God. I want somebody that I can trust, you know, even when it comes to finances. And even if I, you know, become paralyzed or disabled, somebody that's willing to step up and become the breadwinner if I can't, you know, even if it's temporarily, you know, I'm temporarily out of service, you know, I need somebody like that. I need a real woman. So it's not just about feet for me, and I really hope it's not just feet for you guys as well. But if you're with somebody and they're not willing to accommodate you, in my opinion, either you try to figure some type of compromise, or it's time to let them go, or let them go their way, because come on, man. I mean, it's feet, right? So I do want to give you guys some scenarios in regards to how you can, you know, tell a lady that, you know, you have a thing for feet. And I actually had some notes on my computer, but it's acting up, so I'm restarting it. But I think I memorized them, so work with me. I'm trying to go off the top of my head, but I want to just give you guys at least 3 scenarios that you can use in regards to the dynamic of just simply telling your lady, somebody you're dating, or even somebody that you're with as well, you know, they're married to, that you have a thing for feet, that you like feet, that, you know, you have a foot fetish. So I'm going to just give you 3 examples of some methods you can use, but there's a lot of variables that really I can't figure out, or I don't have access to for all of you. I mean, I don't know the dynamic of your relationship. For example, I don't know if you guys are, you know, let's say you're dating somebody and you're both always joking and stuff like that. So that's like one variable. And then you have one relationship where you're very serious, you know, so there's a whole spectrum of different personalities. So I'm going to just throw out 3 different scenarios, and maybe it might be helpful to give you guys at least an idea of how you can go about this. So one of the things I would say is, let's say, for example, and this is number 4, this is pretty much the 3 scenarios. Let's say that you, I don't know, use me as some type of introduction to telling your lady that, hey, you have a thing for feet. So what you could possibly do with this scenario, and I'm going to say this is scenario A, is you could, I don't know, this is just an idea, so let me just, you know, give you some ideas. Maybe you guys can use this. Let's say you're on your phone and you know you want to introduce the whole foot fetish concept to your partner. You can say, you know what, babe, I was actually listening to this guy on YouTube, this James guy, and he was talking about the whole foot fetish concept and all that, and it was very interesting. Have I ever told you that I have a thing for feet? Think about that. You actually, you know, you I don't know, you're putting it on me, like I'm talking about feet, but you found this video, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, hey, did I ever tell you that I have a thing for feet? So right from there, now you're letting her know. Now you're letting her know that, hey, I have a thing for feet. So from there, you know, depending on the dynamic you guys have, you can go from there. And I think for some ladies, you might have to go in a little bit more detail. Others, I think, as soon as they know it, they might even play around with it, you know? They might actually try to get your attention with their feet all of a sudden, you know? So keep that in mind. That's something that you want to at least, you know, I'll put it this way. Your partner deserves to know the truth. Your partner deserves to know the different sides and the different aspects of your personality, your interest, the things that you love and value. And so that's one aspect of your life that she deserves to know. If she's somebody that you're trying to build something with, especially, is you want to let her know. She deserves to know the truth. Another scenario I have, and I'll say this is scenario B, is it's a little bit more on the serious side, but you know, it'll be like I don't know. Let's say you guys are walking the dog, or let's say you guys are washing the dishes together, or I don't know, you guys, whatever it is you guys do, play video games, I don't know, driving. You can say, you know what, sweetheart, I realize that you and I have been actually together for X amount of times, I don't know, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 weeks. And you can say, you know what, and I realize I never told you about the fact that I like feet. you know, or I like your feet. That can be your introduction as well. And again, you know, we all have different personality styles and types, so you'd have to figure out what's the best scenario for you, and you can modify whatever approach, you know, maybe I'm using that you want to use, but just use it in your own way. And you don't have to dwell on it for a long time. You can just, I think what's best is letting your lady know, at least letting her know initially, like, hey, I have, you know, a foot fetish, or I have something that, you know, I have a thing for feet. And so keep that in mind, that your idea or the goal is to introduce it to her, to let her know, hey, this is something that is a part of me. And I think for a lot of ladies, they will get it. It's like, oh, okay, this is something that, you know. But yeah, you want to, you know, this is a little bit more on the serious side as well, but yeah, just keep in mind that it doesn't have to be a special moment, you know, it doesn't have to be something that, you know, significant happening. But you can say, you know what, I really feel like I know you and we're getting close, so I just want to let you know, like if I massage your feet randomly, you know, I want you to know that's something that I like. And in my opinion, I would like to think that a lady that really likes you, she's going to be flattered. She's going to want to have that attention from you. Now, another approach that I'm going to recommend, and this is more on the humorous side, and again, I don't know the dynamic that you guys have with your partner, but this is more on the humorous side, and this is something that I would most likely say with somebody. Let's say I failed to share with them initially, I have a thing for feet. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm so comfortable with my whole, you know, interest in feet that that's one of the first things I bring up, other than, you know, loving God and the different principles that I expect to live by with my relationship. But that's something that I tell ladies day one. You know, day one. I'll even give them the opportunity to run, and I'll joke about it. And that's my last scenario, is I really want to emphasize that for some of us, sometimes joking about it helps. But the idea is to really just introduce it to our lady. It could be something like, for example, and this is scenario C. It could be, you know what, babe? You know what? I really like you. Like, I like when you know, wash the dishes with me. Or I like this food that you're really preparing. This is really good. You know what? I need for you to know that if we're gonna like possibly get married, you need to know I love feet, you know. You need to know that, you know, you need to know that that's something, a part of me that I can't get rid of, you know. So, you know, this is your opportunity to run, okay? For like getting a ring or anything like that. This is your opportunity to run, you know, and so you can introduce it in a funny way. But you can, you know, and this is most likely a method I might use, you know. But just make sure the idea is really to make sure that she knows. Make sure that she knows. So I usually try to make my videos 15 minutes. I think this one might be potentially double that. I'll see how it is with editing. But so my camera is actually starting to get hot, and I think it's time for me to start closing this video. I truly hope this was helpful, you guys. I tried to be as thorough as possible, and thank you for bearing with me. Like, again, this topic is very important to me as well. I'm going to start being a little bit more consistent with the foot-related videos as well. I have some other ideas that I want to introduce, and I may even double down on this one and kind of go in more detail with some scenarios and other options as well. But I appreciate a lot of you that comment and just reach out to me and have dialogues with me, and even some of you that hit up my Facebook and Instagram as well. God bless you guys. Take care. Please remember, if this is a lady that you really like, she deserves to know the different sides of who it is that you are, including the interest that you have for feet. So keep that in mind. Please like and subscribe, you guys, and hit me up. I don't mind having a conversation with you guys. And if you think I can address another topic, something that's relevant, let me know regarding this. All right, take care. Peace. This is James at Unique Perspectives. Please like and subscribe as you head out, and yeah, take care. Bye.